Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And if you stay tuned till the end of the video, I have another 5 bonus niches for you. So in today's video, I want to show you guys how you can create this design or a design very similar to this. This is my design. This one is French Polynesia, Bora Bora, Moorea, Tahiti. And so it's a location design and it's great for vacations. And so this one I actually sell quite a bit in France because it is French Polynesia. So people going on vacation to Bora Bora or Tahiti, whatever, may want to buy this. I put it on a tank top because summer is coming. That is a nice, warm, tropical location. But of course, I do have this up on every product, but I'm just showing you on a tank top here. But I'm going to show you how you can make this design. And then I've got your 5 bonus niches are going to be more vacation themed niches. So stick around for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and jump over to Canva. And we're going to start with a blank page. So I'm going to go to custom size. We'll select 4500 by 5400 pixels. That is the standard t-shirt size. And it will ensure that when you print, it will print at above a 300 DPI. I do prefer to optimize my designs for the darker colors as those do tend to sell better. So I'm going to go ahead and select black as my background color. And now for this design, I am going to be doing some nice tribal designs. This one specifically, obviously, for Tahiti, French Polynesia, that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Elements, and I'm going to start with a tribal circle because this is going to be a nice circular design. So I'm going to put tribal circle and see what comes up, and we'll go to graphics here. And there are all sorts of tribal style designs and tribal turtles, tribal, let me put this as a nice color so I can see it. So here we've got some cool like tribal frames. And so there's a whole bunch, magic recommendations popped up, and you'll see all sorts of different tribal style frames, right? And so any of these would do, and there's a whole bunch of different styles. So depending on what you're going for, if you want something more solid, if you want something a little bit lighter like that, if you want to overlap frames, here's another one here that looks pretty cool. And so I've used all of these in the past for different things. This one's a little bit more detailed, so it's got some really small design stuff. That might be a little bit difficult to print. It's so small. So I might not do something like that, especially if I'm going for something big and bold and tribal in the middle, but one of these two might do really well. Again, just so many different styles right there. And then, of course, you've got turtles, which is a great thing to put in the middle. It doesn't have to be a turtle, though. You can do pretty much anything. So here's another cool tribal frame that I like. So let's say I'm going to go with one of these frames. I don't have to pick yet because I can go ahead if I want to and pick what I'm going to put in. So I might go with tribal, let's say ocean animal. Let's see if it'll come up with tribal ocean animals. So it's coming up with ocean animals, not so much tribal. Here's one. Here's a stingray. So I'm just getting ideas. Again, I've got the turtles that look really cool. There's always lots of tribal turtles, jellyfish. So some of these aren't really as that tribal style that I'm going with. And I'm going with that because I'm doing like just the Polynesian style. So I could also go ahead and put Polynesian, or search Tahiti or search Bora Bora and see what comes up. Again, I've got that stingray and that one looks kind of cool. So there's an option there. Again, the turtles, some of the little tiki stuff. We can see a lot of the tribal style designs. Here's a starfish that might look pretty cool. Turtle, more turtles, lots of turtles, right? What's that? There's a fish, a dolphin. And so all sorts of cool hammerhead shark, another shark there, lots of fun ones. What I'm looking for something, seahorse, is something that's going to fit nicely inside this circle. So I want the shape to kind of work. So some of those I really liked the graphic, but I didn't think that it was necessarily going to go well within the design that I was going for. Here's one that I like that I've done before. And actually, this one's really cool because it is in itself a circle. So if I was to just go ahead and make that nice and light so that you could see it, and I could actually change both colors, that one is in and of itself a circle. And so that might look cool inside one of these frames. And again, you can do any frame that you want. I can hit see all. There's some more turtles in here that look really cool. Again, just sort of looking around. That's the same tribal frame there. So anyways, doesn't really matter what you pick. I'm just kind of going to show you, different styles that you could do. So I liked that one okay. I think the frame might be a little thicker on that one than what I'd like. Frame's a little thinner on this one than what I'd like, so it's a little hard to kind of get exactly what I'm searching for, but I mean, so you can see the way that that would look there, and that's kind of a cool tribal look. There is a little bit of overlap here, but it actually works because the fin's pretty solid there, so I'm not getting any kind of bleed through that I don't like. So that might actually work good. So let's just say I was going to group those two together. So there's a nice tribal circle. Again, could have been anything. I'm going to shrink it down there though. Now I'm going to put some words like around it. So I'm going to pull up a text box, and we're going to start with some words. And I'm going to do these in all caps. So I said French Polynesia. I'm going to add a couple of spaces. Tahiti. A couple of spaces. Moorea. Right. A couple of spaces. And let's go Bora. Bora. So let's make this white so that I can see it. And essentially what we're doing with this is we're going to curve it around. Now I have to pick my font first to make the curve actually kind of fit right. So you can pick any font that you want. You want something that's a little bit bolder, pretty simple to go with this style of design, something that's going to be easy to read. I went ahead and just did with Palalabus wide here because I like that one. And I'm going to have to make it a little bit bigger because I want it to go all the way around. And you know what? I might even add another space or two in between everything. So something there. And then let's go ahead. We'll go to Effects. I'm going to curve it. And I want to curve it so that it pretty much makes a pretty full circle. So something there. Of course, I'm going to have to make it bigger. Looking at something similar to that-ish. I'm thinking I want to close it down just a smidge more. So something there. I like the way that that one looks. And then from here, I can rotate it to make whatever I want on the top. So if I want French Polynesia to be on the top, I can just rotate my circle. Try to center that French Polynesia on the top there so I can do that. Again, try to make sure that my center is circled or centered around my other circle. So you want it to look nice. And then I was thinking I would add a couple like little circle dots here in between. Now I was just going to add, like I said, little circle or something very small there in between the words. So I can hit C on my keyboard. That's going to create a circle. I'm going to shrink that circle down pretty small. And let's see if I was to stick a circle kind of right in between the two words like that. Maybe a little bit smaller, I'm thinking. That looks pretty cool. So once I got the right size circle, I can just hit Control D to duplicate it. And go ahead and stick it again between each of the words. So one here. And then again, one more time and one sort of here. And then I can eyeball it. I can use little arrows on my keyboard then to kind of move those circles whichever way I think they need to go to kind of make sure that they look relatively centered and well spaced between the words. And so that looks pretty cool. So that's a cool right there, nice sort of tropical style design. I like it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to put a clipping mask over it to get some nice bright colors. Now you don't have to. I could do this completely white, or I could just change the colors individually. So, I mean, there would be nothing stopping me at this point from, let's say I wanted to take, you know, each of these and just change the colors individually. So I could do something like this, make the words out here, you know, make those blue. I can do something like this. I could, you know, change colors individually if I wanted to. I mean, I could, if I just wanted to start picking random colors, I could just start picking whatever colors that I wanted to and changing colors of different things. But I think I might want to put a clipping mask over it so I get like sort of that cool uniform gradient look. So it doesn't matter what color anything is. If I'm doing this as a frame, I'm just going to go ahead and put French Polynesia frame. And we're going to go ahead, hit share. I'm going to download it. I want it to be a transparent background. It's a PNG. I can hit download. And so that's going to be my frame. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pick a cool mask that I want to put over it. If I'm putting a mask over an entire design like this, a nice gradient works really well. You won't want to do a pattern. That would make it way too messy and hard to read. If it's just going to be a solid color, then you can just change the colors yourself. So really a gradient is the kind of mask you would want to use if you were going to put a mask on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a nice, let's say, sunset gradient and see what comes up. So I can use graphics, I can use photos, doesn't matter. I want something that's going to be nice, bright colors. And there's all sorts of different ones. I mean, I could just do just sort of a simple gradient where I'm going sort of from the orange to yellow, or I could do something that's more of like a rainbow gradient. Not quite getting what I'm wanting here. So let's try rainbow gradient. And so here's some really cool rainbow gradient ones that you could use. All sorts of different, like some wavy ones there that kind of look cool if you wanted to go like just total rainbow. Remember, I'd probably be putting this on a darker shirt, so something that's going to be either really bright or lighter in color is going to work well. This one I love, by the way, because this one's giving me, you know, 3 different colors here, but it's nice, it's bright, it's not your traditional just plain rainbow, but I am getting lots of colors. And of course I can look at the different gradients that come up under magic recommendations. I do like this one quite a bit. I maybe wish it went a little bit more into the yellows, but this one so far is the one that I've seen that I like the best. Here's another one that's got the greens. See, I don't necessarily want the greens in there, but I do think that the yellows might look kind of cool, or even just like a teal. But let's go ahead and just use this one. So I'll show you with this one. So this is going to be our mask. And I can put the mask right over the top like that. And I can rotate it too. So depending on if I wanted one part of it to be lighter or darker, I could do that. I can also edit this, by the way, and go to adjust. And we can go ahead and say I want to make this a little bit brighter. And I really want to pump the saturation, and I really want to pump the vibrance, maybe. Something like that. I can, you know, see how it would look if I upped the contrast or if I downed the contrast, you know, depending on what I'm looking for here. So maybe even downing that a little bit. Anyways, so you can see how I can play with that. I can bump the highlights up a little bit too if I wanted to, darken the highlights. So you can play with it however you want, but let's say I've got it the way I think that it's going to look best. I'm going to go ahead and keep it French Polynesia. We're going to go ahead and just say rainbow mask or sunset mask or whatever you want to call it, just mask. And we'll download it. Does not need to be a transparent background. Really doesn't matter if it is or isn't, because it's only going to go on top of your frame. So we're just going to go ahead and hit download that. And then from here, I'm going to jump over to PhotoPea to do the clipping mask. If you haven't watched my videos before, or you haven't used PhotoPea, it is super convenient, really quick, easy, cheap, sorry, not cheap, free way to create clipping masks easily. So if you just type photopea.com into your browser, you will come up with something that looks like this, and they have just changed it. Right away, it says Photo Pickle. I don't know why. I just noticed that today, that it went from PhotoPea to Photo Pickle, and I swear I was on here last night and it still said PhotoPea, so that's just interesting. But I'm going to hit open from computer. That will pull up your downloads, and we'll just start with that French Polynesia frame. Hit open, and it's going to open your frame and put it right here. And then from here, we can go ahead and hit File, Open in Place. It's going to pull up your downloads again. This time you're going to hit your mask, and you'll hit Open. And now we've got our mask right over our frame. And oh, it looks like I missed it a little bit. I'm going to have to fix my frame because now I can see where I missed a spot there. Okay, no worries. Let me go back over. Let me go back over to my Canva page really quick. And it doesn't look like I missed it. It's hard to see here. Here it looks like I got it all. But tell you what, just in case, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger to ensure that I didn't miss anything. I'm even going to check my transparency to, again, make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, it looks good. It should be fine. Let me go ahead and download this mask again. I don't know why it didn't do it perfectly. Let's hit download. Okay, take two. Let me go back over to PhotoPea. That's interesting that it kind of offset it when that downloaded. I don't know why that happened. Whatever. I can just go ahead, right click on this. I can hit delete, and we'll try again. So I'm going to go back up to File, Open in Place. I'm going to go with take two on my mask, hit open. And yeah, there we go. That time nothing's showing through. Perfect. So now all we're going to have to do from here is go up to the top where it says layer, clipping mask. And there it goes. So it was that fast and that easy. And then from here, we just export it. So we can go to File, Export as a PNG. A little box will pull up. You can retitle it here if you want to. So right here, it just said French Polynesia frame. I could just go ahead and put French Polynesia, let's say sunset, just so I have the difference. Hit save, and instantly I've got it. So now if you want to see what it's going to look like on that dark background, I can go right back over to Canva. I can go over to uploads on the left-hand side, hit upload files. That'll pull up your downloads again. From here, I can just go ahead and download that sunset one. I'm going to add a page here so that I can see it, and I will bring it over. And so there you've got your really cool design right there. See? And perfect. And so that is one way to go ahead and make this cool sort of a Polynesian style design. This one's not perfect. I didn't get that totally centered perfect the way I'd want. If I was actually going to put this up, I'd put a little bit more time into making sure everything looked centered and was spaced properly. But I did just want to show you guys how you can go ahead and do this. And so that's it. Pretty simple. And because you were so patient and waited until the end of the video, I do have 5 bonus niches for you. And they are, you know, vacation themed or travel themed. And so I did want to talk a little bit about ways that you could go ahead and scale this style of design out. So without any more waiting. Okay, so here are going to be your 5 bonus niches. All right, so you're going to notice a theme here. Number 1, cruise Alaska. Number 2, surf Malibu, California. Number 3, ski Aspen, Colorado. Number 4, dive Kona, Hawaii. And number 5, hike Zion National Park. So what we've done is we have taken an activity and a location, and you can go ahead and create tons of designs that you can then scale out. And so these would all be great travel destinations that include not only the travel destination, but what you would do there. So a way that you would scale this, I have surf Malibu, California. You could then have surf Laguna Beach, California. You could then have surf any surf spots in the entire world, right? Whatever surf blank location. Same thing with ski, ski, blank location, dive, blank location. Do a little bit of research, find out what the top dive spots in the world are, the best type hiking spots, what are the most popular ones, and these make for great vacation shirts. And of course, whenever you've got a vacation shirt, you can also market it as a group shirt for a group vacation or a family vacation. So lots of ways that you can go with this. And since summer is approaching, it is travel season. People are out there cruising and traveling to all sorts of different places. This is a great time to throw this stuff up, and of course it's evergreen, so it will sell year round and year after year. Maybe not the skiing stuff because that's a little bit more winter, but still. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. I hope you guys are doing really well with your sales and your designs. I hope you're continuing to expand your portfolio, learn new skills, try out new things, and just grow in general. I am still working on that print-on-demand course. Give me another couple of months. I should probably get it done sometime by this summer, hopefully. And then if you haven't downloaded the free evergreen and seasonal niche list, that is at the top of the description under this video, and under every video I put that there. It's totally free. So that's going to give you a couple hundred free niches that you guys can be working on. And anyways, I hope to see you guys again. I hope you guys are doing really well. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.